We begin with a follow-up to a story we first told you about last month. Mid-Missouri child molester spent 120 days in prison, serving about 3% of his sentence. Good evening, everyone. I'm Taylor Freeman.
And I'm Evie Allen. Thank you so much for joining us. He was released early after completing a state sex offender rehab program. Tonight in this Target 8 investigation, KOMU 8's Adam Berkowitz looks into how the program works and why some say he should still be in prison. Adam.
Yeah, Nelson Paul Thompson was convicted in October of molesting his daughter and stepdaughter. The two Class B felony convictions came with two 10-year prison sentences to be served at the same time. So why was he released after only 4 months? Here's what I found out in my Target 8 investigation. Nelson Paul Thompson began serving two 10-year sentences in October here at the Fulton Reception and Diagnostic facility. His sentence could have been greater, but Thompson pleaded guilty to Class B felonies instead of Class A. The agreement? Complete an 120-day sex offender rehabilitation program. And immediately after those 120 days were completed, Randolph County Judge Scott Hayes released Thompson. Community members took to social media, sharing frustration with the legal system and this outcome. The victims and their families say they're outraged and scared.
It was a lot of disbelief that this would even happen, because I put so much trust in our lawyers and the judge, and that he would actually spend time behind bars for 10 years, but he didn't even get an inch of that.
For me as the mother, I felt like I failed my kids again. And so we fought so hard to get to that point. And to have this ripped back away from us again feels like that they don't care.
Thompson admitted to abusing his daughter and stepdaughter from the ages of 6 to 15. They're now 17 and 32 years old.
It's draining. I have nightmares every night, and I can barely sleep because I just can't fall asleep because I'm scared that I'm going to have these nightmares about him.
In Missouri, these cases are usually dealt with very harshly.
Jefferson City criminal defense attorney Ryan Waters is not connected to this case, but he provided more clarification on why Thompson was offered this deal.
I think it's a bit unusual just because most cases of this caliber deserve and carry a heavy punishment, frankly, but every case is different and every set of facts is different.
Thompson took part in Missouri's sex offender program, a program of treatment, education, and rehabilitation for sexual assault offenders. His release was dependent on the successful completion of an 120-day treatment as well as a sex offender assessment program. In 2024, 331 people incarcerated in Missouri state prisons had convictions for child molestation in the first degree, carrying the average sentence of 15 years. The Missouri Sex Offender Program had 247 participants successfully complete the program. On average, those who completed the program had served nearly 70% of their initial sentence already completed prior to release. Thompson also completed a Static 99R test and Stable 2007 test, which are meant to measure the risk of a sex offender committing further sex crimes. These tests concluded a below average risk of recidivism, or less than a 1% chance that Thompson will reoffend.
Risk assessment is helpful. It is not the end-all be-all. Hopefully, it is part of a broader evaluation process. Reoffense is always possible, regardless of what their assigned risk level is or what their assessed risk level is.
Seth Westcott is a licensed master-level psychologist and certified trainer in the Static 99R and Stable 2007 assessments. He says these assessments are widely used and very accurate.
Static 99R is considered the gold standard of actuarial risk assessment instrument and has stood up in court many, many times across many jurisdictions. It is considered by everybody in this field to be accepted science.
On February 13th, the victims and their family were granted a request to be heard hearing in front of Judge Hayes, where they urged him to stop Thompson's release. Judge Hayes ultimately signed off on his release, citing that Thompson successfully completed the MOSAP program and also completed the necessary risk assessments. Additionally, the judge said that no new evidence was presented at the hearing.
The judge does have the discretion after the reports come out while the defendant is in incarceration. If they choose not to honor the 120 days based on behavior and the other factors, yes, the judge can basically completely stop that.
Now, I talked to Thompson's defense attorney, who told me he and Thompson have no comment for this story. Thompson is a retired Department of Corrections captain from Moberly. He is now a registered sex offender, and he is relocated to Armstrong in Howard County. He's been ordered 5 years of probation. In the studio, Adam Berkowitz, KOMU.